Good morning, children. Thought for the day. When you move your focus from competition to contribution, life becomes a celebration. Never try to defeat people, just win their hearts. So, it's a powerful thought which tells us that instead of competing, we should think of contributing. Instead of defeating people, we should try to win their hearts. With this thought, let's get started with the chapter number 11, Cell Structure and Microorganisms. Let's recall. What is the name of the minute components of which the body of a living organism is made? Is the number of these smallest units the same in the bodies of all living organisms? If you recall, last year you had studied the characteristics of living things. If you remember, living things are made up of small units called cells. All the actions and processes in the bodies of living things are brought about with the help of these microscopic cells. Some living things are made up of a single cell, and these are called as unicellular organisms. On the other hand, the living things that are made up of many cells are called multicellular organisms. The amoeba and some other microorganisms are unicellular, while man, cow, mouse, cockroach, elephants, banyan tree, the onion plant, etc. are all multicellular organisms. All the characteristics of living things are seen in every cell of a living thing, whether it is unicellular or multicellular. So, cellular structure is the main characteristic of living things, even though the number of cells may vary. So, we have learned that cellular organization is the primary characteristic of all the living organisms, and that the cell is the fundamental structural and functional unit of living organisms. Complete the flow chart. You can see here certain boxes are given for the flow chart to be completed. Now you know that what forms words? Yes, letters. Letters form words. Words form sentences. Sentences together they form paragraph. Paragraph together they form chapters, and chapters compiled together they form a book. So we see the structural organization of a book in the above flow chart. Similarly, there are organizational levels in living organisms too. These are cells, they come together to make a tissue. Tissues, they make up an organ. Organs, they make organ system. An organ system makes the body, which makes the complete living being. So cells form the basis of the structure and function of all living organisms. It is only with the help of cells that living organisms can carry out their different life processes. Use your brain power. Where do the life process of unicellular organisms takes place? Think about it. The life processes of unicellular organisms that take place in their one single cell, since they are made up of single cell, like in case of amoeba and paramecium. All the life processes are carried out or take place in the same single cell. Organization in living things. You can see here cell, they come together to make tissue. Tissues, they come together to make an organ. Here you can see the organ, and it is a part of digestive system, and this organ together has made the digestive system, and digestive system is the part of the body, that is the living being. In 1665, a scientist, Robert Hooke, observed a thin section of cork under a microscope. In this section, he saw hexagonal compartments. Hexagon, you must have studied in maths. It has got 6 sides. Okay, geometrical figure with 6 sides. And it looked those like that of a beehive. Beehive means, yes, with the home of honeybee. He named those compartments cells, and this term is derived from the Latin word cella, which means small room. In 1838, the two scientists, M.J. Schleiden and Theodor Schwann, formulated a theory about cellular structure, which stated all the living organisms are made up of cells, and the cell is the fundamental component of living organisms. In 1885, Rodolphe Virchow stated that all cells are formed from pre-existing cells. Measurement and observation of cells. In 1673, Antony von Leeuwenhoek assembled various lenses to construct a microscope. He was the first to observe live bacterial and protozoan cells under the microscope. Cells are extremely minute in size. We cannot see cells with the naked eye. Micrometer and nanometer are the units used for measuring their sizes. The compound microscope is used for observing cells. An object on a glass slide magnified. Magnified means the image of the object is increased in size. So the object on a glass slide is magnified many times by the lenses of the microscope. So 1 centimeter is made up of 10 millimeters. Now 1 millimeter, you all must have used your ruler from your compass. So pencil box. So 10 millimeters make 1 centimeter, this you know. But 1 millimeter, the lower unit than that, you cannot see on your ruler. But 1 millimeter is made up of 1000 micrometer. And again, 1 micrometer or 1 micron is made up of 1000 nanometer. So the cells can be so small in size. We can see a millimeter size, but we cannot see below that. Okay, we cannot see in micrometers and nanometers, and hence we require microscope to observe them. And such microscope was developed by Antony van Leeuwenhoek, where he has used, you can see here, eyepiece, that is ocular lenses, and objective lenses. So the two lenses are used in combination. What they do together is, two lenses in combination, they increase the size of the image of the object that you are observing on the slide. They increase maybe to even 10 times, 100 times, or 40 times. So there are various powers. Okay, so even 100 times they can increase the size of the object. And of course, then you'll be able to visualize with your naked eyes.